I can teach people how to sell, but knowledge is not what makes you successful. Mastery is what makes you successful.
So the big question is this: how these entrepreneurs who started from scratch and had no idea how to sell or market their products or services online, and then later on made over 6 figures, 7 figures, or even 8 figures, became best in their niches and found their dream customers to sell. My name is rjahmed, and find this all out in our Interviews with Entrepreneurs show, where I interviewed these entrepreneurs and tried to pick their brain of how they actually did that and how they took their business as well as their life to the next level. This podcast is all about the entrepreneurs who strive so hard to become super awesome in their niches. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneurs. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneurs show, where we interview entrepreneurs who are super awesome in their niches. And guys, RJ here back again with an amazing guest on our show. So today's guest is somebody out there who started from scratch, selling, being a pizza boy, selling water bottles, and dropped out of university to creating an empire in the digital world. So today's guest is Dan Henry. Dan Henry is a Wall Street Journal best-selling author for his book like Digital Millionaire Secrets. He have founded a lot of companies like including GetClients.com and CloseDeals.com. He's actually one of the most influential, entrepreneur, especially in the current world. And not only that, he's been able to influence a lot of other people's life as well. Not only that, he's been able to generate over $1 million by on stage and over $30 million or even more as well. We're going to talk about a lot of things out there, like how he's providing a lot of value, especially with his free content as well, what's going on and things about it. So please welcome Dan Henry. Thank you so much for being on the show today out there. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Amazing. So, could you walk us through a brief backstory out there, how things started for you actually as well? Because I think I can resonate a lot of your backstory out there because you were also a student. So, can you walk us a brief of it?
Yeah. So a lot of times people tell me, or they ask me, you made $30 million. Where did you start? And I started delivering pizza.
Yeah.
I delivered pizza for 7 years. Most people make it a 6-month thing or a year thing. I made it a career. And one day I had to walk up 15 flights of stairs. It was negative 16 degrees, negative 51 with wind chill in Chicago. And I had to walk up 15 flights of stairs to deliver this guy's pizza. Forgot his 2-liter. Had to drive back to the store, drive back, walk up the stairs and back down again. And the guy still stiffed me. Oh, and it was that day I decided I needed to look for a different job. So I went on Craigslist and I answered this ad. It said, hey, make $50,000 per year as a salesperson. And back then, 50 grand per year was actually a decent amount of money. So I applied for the job, got the job. They flew me up to Trenton, New Jersey, to train at a company called Twin Towers Trading. And this company was actually the original company where the OxyClean guy, Billy Mays, hey, it's Billy Mays with OxyClean, where he got his start. And my sales manager was the same sales manager that was Billy's sales manager when he got his start. And the gig was to take this set of cookware. It was called titanium cookware, and it was this incredibly overpriced set of cookware. And we would go to like a Sam's Club or a Costco. We'd set up a booth, lay out the cookware. We would do a cooking show, which was actually a sales pitch, and we would sell this cookware. And it was 4 to 5 times more expensive than any cookware in the store. And I remember we set the booth up, and it was my turn to go for the first time. And instantly, my whole life flashed before my eyes. When I was a kid, I wasn't popular. I didn't get invited to parties. The last thing anybody wanted to do was hear me say anything. I didn't have a lot of friends, bullied a lot in school, whatever. So that all came back to me. And I said to my manager, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this. There's people coming up to the booth. They're starting to gather ready for me to do this cooking show. And he holds up a piece of paper, right? And he says, you see this piece of paper? You see the words on this page? These are the words that we taught you in training over the past 2 weeks. We've spent millions of dollars and hundreds of revisions going through and making sure that these words are perfect. If you say these words, these people will not only listen to you, but they will give you money. Can you do that? And I was like, yes, okay, I'll do that. So I get up there, I say the words I had been taught, and lo and behold, at the end, 15 minutes later, 5 people grabbed a set of this cookware, put it in their cart, and went to the checkout. And I did the presentation 3 or 4 more times that day. And at the end of the day, I made $1,000 in commissions. I was struggling, working 40, 45 hours a week delivering pizza to make $400 or $500 a week. And in just one day, I made $1,000 in commission, and all I did was say words. And it was at that moment that I realized that if I knew what to say and how to say it, I could make the world bend to my will. And I believe the number, and look, when I was up there and I was nervous, I've had a lot of things go through my head. And like many entrepreneurs, I thought, I don't know what to say. I'm not any good at this. I don't think people are going to buy from me. Why would they buy from me? Yep. That was all. But once I learned what to say and how to say it, that all went away. And I could literally build any company anytime I wanted because I knew how to sell. And so, over the past 12 years, I've developed and mastered a system of selling that has allowed me to do a lot of really cool things, sell over $30 million on my own high ticket products and services, sell $1 million in a day from stage, write a couple best-selling books on the subject of sales and marketing, buy my mom a house, buy my dad a house, take care of my family. I pay all their bills. I pay for everything in their life. I take care of my family and still have enough left over to have a really awesome lifestyle. I have, several homes in Florida. I have 2 homes here in Costa Rica where I'm at right now, including this penthouse, and just really live a really awesome lifestyle. And it's all because I learned what to say and how to say it. And Jim Rohn said, if you want to be successful, you got to have something good to say and you have to say it well. And I can tell you that is absolutely true. If you know the words to say and how to say them, you can make the world bend to your will.
Yeah, that's definitely amazing, especially the story. And I believe people would understand it wasn't instant. It was a lot of struggle, a lot of years, a lot of trial and errors in order to get to the point where you are at the moment. It wasn't here was Dan, here was the button, and that's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Well,
no,
that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So, how things started to transition for you in the online space? You were selling products, especially in the cookware and things like that. You started to understand how to say it, what to say, how you converted it to online. What was your first breakthrough on that time?
Yeah. So, as time progressed, I wanted to start my own business, create my own products. What really got me into it was I owned a bar years ago, and I bought the bar, and it was not on a main road. So the only way for me to get business was to use social media marketing, Facebook ads. And so what I did was I put out a bunch of ads on Facebook, and I said, hey, come to this new bar, new management, whatever, $20, all you can drink, including top shelf liquor. So of course the whole town came to the bar that night. Now I lost my ass monetarily because I pretty much gave all my liquor away. However, I took a camera and I filmed everybody there, packed, having a good time. And all I did the entire night was film, take pictures. I then took that film, I took those pictures, and I created Facebook ads from them. And I hit the whole town every day with Facebook ads saying, this is the hottest spot in town. This is this. And from those ads, even though it wasn't the hottest spot in town, I made it look like that for one night because I constantly put those ads out and I made it appear to be the hottest spot in town. It became the hottest spot in town. And 14 months later, I sold it for a $300,000 profit, which to do that with a bar in the state of Florida is extremely difficult. Now, unfortunately, I was young and I was dumb and I didn't pay taxes and I didn't keep my books right. So I ended up getting audited. I got a letter in the mail. I owed $250,000 in back taxes. I didn't have the money to pay for it. And so I thought, okay, well, what can I do? And I didn't have the money at the time to start a new business or anything like that. So my wife at the time, she says, well, you're really good at getting people to come into your business. Why don't you just do that for other businesses? So I was like, that's a great idea. So I started a marketing agency where I did marketing for local businesses. I did very well with that for 6 months, maybe a year. And then I started, I still had to pay that big bill. And so I thought, well, okay, how do I do that? Well, I'll start training people on this. I'll expand, I'll create an online course. And when I did that and I taught people how to run Facebook ads for local business, I ended up doing $100,000 my first month. We did $1 million within 5 months. And then we did about $10 million over the next couple years, next 2-3 years. And right about when I hit the $10,000 mark, I converted and I started teaching people how to sell their advice. Because by that point, a lot of people, they make, 10 grand selling a course. And then they're like, let me teach you how to sell courses. And I hate to break it to you, but they don't know shit about selling courses. $10,000 is baby money. I spend that on a yacht day. Like, that's nothing. You don't know anything if that's all you've made doing a thing. So I started teaching it after I made about 10 million, and I got really great results. And then I, transitioned to teaching people how to sell over the phone and sell a course that most people would charge 1,000 for, show them how to charge 10,000, and it just went from there. And I just sharpened my tool belt. And when I sharpened my tool belt, I taught other people how to sharpen their tool belt, and on we go. So that's, and since then we've done about 32 million. So.
Yeah, well, that's so amazing. And you also talked about, we discussed about that earlier. Like, it's all about like how you say it, how you articulate things. And you have a company which is like closedeals.com, where you help people out there, first of all, become a better closers, and then being the part of other sales team. Like, can you like walk us through a bit of it, like what's that all about, how the agenda came along, and then like what is the common mistake you see like a lot of potential closers actually make during the process?
Well, here's the thing. There's 2 things great salespeople do. Number 1, they train daily. Number 2, they surround themselves with people better than them. If you look at the top companies with the most effective sales forces, like Salesforce or Grant Cardone or something, they have huge infrastructure. They have big teams that hold their salespeople accountable every day, train them every day, drill them every day, give them exercises every day, hold them accountable to their KPIs and to their targets. And this is an unfair advantage because they have the infrastructure to do so. And one thing I learned in my business is that I can teach people how to sell, but knowledge is not what makes you successful. Mastery is what makes you successful. It's habitualizing the knowledge you have learned. If you're a boxer, you don't learn how to box and then you don't train and go win a boxing title. You learn how to box and then you drill and train boxing every day. And the problem, whether you have a sales team or whether you do your own sales, if you're not training daily, if you're not surrounding yourself with people better than you daily, you're not making as many sales as you could. So what we do at closedeals.com is we've built the infrastructure of world-class enterprise-level sales teams. And what we do is if you are a solo seller, meaning you sell your own product, we bring you into a daily sales huddle where you have all the resources of an enterprise-level sales team, and we train you daily. We help you set up your KPI trackers. We help you overcome objections, prospect, follow-up, and just we're there for you each and every day, just as if you were a member of a world-class sales team. And if you have salespeople, we manage them and do the same thing for them. So you, the business owner, can focus on being the business owner, on being the influencer, and not on managing your sales team. And so far, we have massively increased close rates for both sales teams and individual sellers at our company, because I learned a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, but I learned recently-ish, that it's not enough to just teach somebody something. You have to help them with mastery. And that's what we do at closedeals.com.
Wow. That's so cool. And like anybody like who wanted to, learn about like how to do it effectively or anything like that. First of all, I'm gonna be posting up the link in the description, also in the show notes. So the people who want to become an effective closer and things like that, they could go in and learn from that. Speaking of it, you know, especially in the last year, I've saw a pretty good amount of people out there who made a lot of money, went into a completely different direction, especially in terms of like internal fulfillment. They weren't the same. Like they were flashy, earlier, but later down the road, they moved out from being materialistic because money is something that was kind of like scarce to them right now. It doesn't meant that much. It was more about fulfillment. Like, what do you think about it? That how people should go in and find their inner fulfillment regardless of whatever the stage they are in. I think it probably be different from from somebody who's starting out versus who is successful. Like what's your thought around that?
Yeah. So look, money doesn't make you happy, but it certainly solves a lot of problems that make you unhappy. So the way I view it is that money is going to clear the road for you. When you're on the road to success, when you're on the road to happiness, when you're on the road to fulfillment, there's a road and it's cluttered with debris. When you have money, you're able to pay to clear the debris. And now the road to happiness is clear and you can drive or walk or whatever down it, but you still have to go down the road. So money doesn't make you happy. It simply allows you to now pursue happiness. And many people, when they start clearing the road with their money, they get comfortable and they get dopamine hits and they don't start walking down the road to happiness. They stay where they are. They pitch a tent. They invite some girls over. They get some beer and they just chill on the side of the road. And that's why they're not unhappy. And I went through this myself. I went through a really rough divorce. I respect and love my ex-wife dearly, and she's the greatest possible mother I could ever ask for. It didn't work out with us. We have different religious beliefs, whatever, et cetera. And I went a little bit nutty after, because, for the first time in my life, I was single. I was single, male, a lot of money. Prior to that, I was a pizza boy, a Florida pizza boy. I didn't have the greatest upbringing. My family, my parents would like yell and scream at each other as a kid. So like for me to be a decent human being, I had to go out and seek personal development. Therapy, read books, really work on myself to be a decent human. But at the time, what I was going through was bad. So I went out and I did all the things that men do when they have too much money. I went out, I partied, bought a yacht, lived the Jordan. And I'll be honest with you, I lived the Jordan Belfort lifestyle. I like the real Jordan Belfort lifestyle, and you can let your imagination go where you want with that. But I learned that was not what made me happy. And while the road was clear, I pitched a tent. I invited some girls over. I had some beers. I put up a big screen TV and I sat on the side of the road, that clear road, and I just partied. And then I realized that no, fulfillment is way down the road. And all I did with the money was clear it. And eventually I realized that, and I kicked everybody out of my tent. I got rid of all the toxic people in my life, intimate relationships included. And I packed up and I started walking down the road. Sold the yacht because it just didn't make sense, especially after the pandemic. Bought property, and just started making better life choices. And here's what I'll say to any young man, really any young person who has success fast, is it's very difficult for you to navigate life when you have untapped and unlimited resources. And so maybe some of you listening had an amazing upbringing, but I didn't. And many people listening didn't. And so sometimes you got to learn this through trial and error. And what I will tell you is this: you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to do some dumb stuff, and you're going to have a bunch of people look at you with disgust and tell you made bad choices, but they're do nothing fucking assholes that aren't doing shit with their life anyway. So fuck them, fuck what they think, and know that you can absolutely come back from any mistake, from And don't let what the world tells you today, because today we live in a world where if you made a mistake 20 fucking years ago, all of a sudden you should lose your job. You can't learn from anything. And, you deserve to be crucified. Whereas when I was a kid, we believed in your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. And that's why today you will find people who are my age who have become successful, yet you have these kids today that are bitching and moaning and crying because they got to work 8 hours. And that's the thing is, I believe everybody deserves a second chance, and I believe everybody can learn from their mistakes, and myself included. And if somebody tells you that you're a terrible person because you make a mistake, that is why God gave you a middle finger. Okay. And so that's what I have to say with that. You can learn from anything. I made mistakes, but I packed my shit up and I'm walking down the road, and it's a much better road to fulfillment. And you will meet much better people on that road as you go down.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing, especially like while you're talking about even with your personal experiences, like how you dealt with all of those things in the past and how you transition into a different human completely. That's amazing. Speaking of it, recently I think it was around like Black Friday or so, you actually started to almost like give away everything on completely a minimal to low price. Like it was nothing, especially like what you have so far in the past. Like it was something like that, which was the Legacy University, like talk us about that,
Legacy University.
like why you yeah. So like why you actually decided to do it in the first place? Like what was the context behind that as well?
You're the first person that's actually asked me the whole plan behind that. So here, I'll tell you a funny story. I saw so many comments online where people were like, this is his strategy. This is what he's doing. This is what he's, and the truth is that it wasn't that complicated. Here's why I did it. And by the way, it worked out. I thought I would do maybe 25 grand a month in monthly recurring revenue. We ended up doing $130,000 a month in recurring revenue in 7 days, which was crazy. But here's why I did it. We started signing up clients at closed deals. And most of the clients were people that at some point took my course DMC, which was $10,000. And, what we charge to manage sales teams and do that is a lot more than $10,000 over the course of a year. But it also makes our clients a lot more because we're giving them literally daily support. And so I thought about it, and I had retired from coaching. I'd retired that program. I wasn't selling it because I wanted to focus on closed deals. But then I thought about it. I was like, well, wait a minute. If a large portion of our customers come from closed deals, and I'm trying to build a massive reputation in the market, and I want to make this $100 million company, I've never made a lot of money without sacrificing something. And so I made a decision. I thought, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bundle up my $10,000 program. I'm going to offer it for $97 a month. I'm going to get it in as many people's hands as possible, but I'm going to constantly mention in the program, on the sales page, everything. Hey, the reason I'm giving you this for such a cheap price is because I want you to work with us at closedeals.com. And in order to do that, you have to have a high ticket product. You have to be taking sales calls, and you have to want to be able to close more of them. Well, a lot of people aren't at that level yet. They're still in product development. They're still figuring out their lead generation, whatever. So I thought, all right, I'm going to pay it forward. I got to make some money. I can't do it for free. I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to put this out there for a low cost. And I am going to help a shit ton of people get to the point where we can help them at closed deals. And if that takes 6 months, a year, 2 years, so be it. And when we did that, we already literally, it's only been a month and a half, and we've literally had people go into Legacy University, create a high ticket offer, make a couple sales, get leads, and then go over and work with us at closedeals.com to scale it with their sales process.
Wow.
So it's already working. I can't imagine how well it's going to work 6 months from now. And so that's what we did. And it's been pretty awesome to see it go down. So
yeah. And by the way, guys, like, one thing that was super interesting with Dan, what he did with Legacy University was actually he closed the program and then he allowed only the affiliates to go in and sell that offer. So like before even like I post up the link in the description down below. First of all, I'm going to be the part of it, and then I'm going to post it in the description down below.
Oh, you
Because
got, are you a member?
yeah, I will be becoming a member probably today or tomorrow itself. Before
Well,
even like
man, you
giving
got
the
to
link,
find an invite link. You can't, it's closed. You got to find an invite link from somebody
I
that's
actually
already
got
in
it.
the program. You got it? Well, look,
Yeah.
get it. Well, because I'm going to raise it to 297. So you got to get in. We've already got like over 1,000 people in it. So get in, post your affiliate link in the description of this podcast. That's the only way to get in. So it's invite only. So you should do it. You should totally do it.
Yeah. Definitely. And then I don't want to take a lot of time, but you also talked about the rewards of it. We're not gonna dive deep into a lot of it, but you also came up with the coins as well. You know, alongside the
Yeah.
different sales for
Yeah.
affiliates.
I don't have any of them with
about
me,
it.
but there are these things called legacy coins. And if you refer a
Yep,
certain amount
I
of
saw
people
that.
to the, if you refer a certain amount of people to the program, you get these different coins, and these different coins get you these certain levels of access. For instance, if you refer 100 people, you get a master coin, and that entitles you to a private mastermind at my penthouse for a full day where I'll work on your business and go through things. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We actually just held one, and I got some promo video and stuff we're going to be putting out. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like to gamify stuff, make it cool.
Yeah, that jet one was pretty good actually. That was a completely crazy offer out there. Like somebody, I think it was somebody did 500 or so, something like that. They could access you anytime, wherever you're going. They have to get back to that place, being in the jet with you, and be there all the time. That was definitely amazing. So I'll be joining up. First of all, that is for sure certain. I already got the link. I have to join it so that I could go in and drop the link down below. So anybody who want to join it before Dan actually raise the price. It's not fake scarcity. First of all, it is real. He's gonna do it once again, whatever he's saying. So I will.
And right now
post
I'm
the
doing
link.
I'm doing a monthly live call where I do Q&A. So
Yep. So you cannot miss that out as well.
But it's good.
Under,
Listen. Let's just say it's $297 a month, because it's going to be very soon. As soon as I get down my to-do list and then go in and change it, because I got to re-record a new VSL. So let's just say it's $297 a month, because by the time they hear this, it probably will be. But either way, it's still freaking worth it. I mean, you're talking about literally, dude. I mean, this program's created over 100 millionaires. So.
Yep.
If that's not worth $300 a month, then you probably should not be in business. Just saying.
Yeah. So I will post up the link in the description down below. Well, Dan, thank you so much for being on the show today out there. Like where people can find out more about you and be the part of your world if they haven't. It's insane.
I'm always active on Instagram. If you DM me the word objections, I'll send you a little 4-minute audio lesson on how to overcome objections on sales calls. So I got a lot going on IG, and then you can check out Close Deal, my two companies, closedeals.com and getclients.com. But hit me up on Instagram. I'm always super active on Instagram. Not so much.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah. Any last thing that you want to say before we round the show up?
Yeah. I mean, I can leave you with a little, what are my best sales tips, if you like.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. One trick I teach salespeople is never to make a declarative statement on a sales call. What you have to remember is people don't believe you, they believe them. You're a salesperson. You're the fucking scum of the earth. You are literally 1 centimeter above a lawyer, or below a lawyer in some cases. You are the gum on the bottom of their shoe. They don't want to listen to anything you have to say, but they will listen to what they have to say. So if you can make everything you say something that they say, you will sell a lot more. For instance, you would not say, our product is great, it's going to get you amazing results. You'll say, here's what's included in our product. If you had access to this, what kind of results do you think you would get? Do you think you would be more successful? And you get the prospect to say it. And if they say no, you work through that. But if they say yes, now when you pitch, you're not pitching what you say, you're pitching what they say. Well, you said this would help you double your sales. How much longer do you want to have half the amount of sales you could? You see, at all points, you're asking them a question, you're getting them to say it. If you can get through an entire sales call without really saying a declarative statement, you'll make the sale. And if you can remember that and you can do that at all times, not only will you make a lot more sales, but you can convince your wife to go to the restaurant you want her to go to. You can convince your kids to eat their vegetables. Everything in life is sales, every single aspect. And the quicker you learn sales, the better your life will be.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Amazing advice. Again, Dan, thank you so much for being on the show today. And thank you guys for watching. We're definitely going to see you guys in the next episode. Until then, peace out.